regarding, for instance, creation of states? Can you do that in one sentence?
You can try. Senator can try very quickly.
In one sentence.
There are issues you just can't discuss in one sentence, and this issue of state creation is one of them. So if it's something to be discussed in one sentence, I'll pass.
Okay, make it 2 sentences and quickly.
In 2 sentences, what I would say is that whatever changes we're making to our constitution should be based, haven't practiced our kind of federalism now for 50 years. We should actually be able to look at things that contribute to the life of the ordinary people. State creation by itself will not do that, and it has not done that. If you look at the statistics, I wrote an article where I said that in 1974, the poverty index in this country was below 40%. We had 12 states. In 2012, we have 36 states. The poverty index is 70% and rising. So clearly, the challenge of Nigeria is not in the number of states. It is in the viability and the productiveness of the nation. Are these states contributing to making Nigeria more productive in its present form? If the answer is yes, then let's create more.
Okay.
Do you think the answer is yes? Very quickly.
If there are some states that could be productive, there are some states that could be productive, self-sustaining, and could contribute. There are some that are not viable. In fact, even in amending the constitution, instead of looking at just creation of states, maybe we should also look at a provision that will allow states to merge. So you can increase and decrease, not only increase all the time, based on what you have. I think we need to look at that.
Okay, let's hear that.
We have to be very, very careful in discussing this issue of state creation, because state creation, the way I see it today, will only help us to achieve what I best describe as political balancing, not economic balancing. And if we are not economically strong, you acquire economic power first before political power. And that we have to be very careful, because if you ask a lot of people and you just pick most of these people agitating for state creation, if care is not taken, we will just give rise to a new set of monsters, I'm telling you, and people that are morally insolvent. Because if you tell somebody now, okay, you are agitating for this state creation, this is a marker or a pen, and that is a flip chart. Please itemize what you think will be the derivatives of this state creation in terms of economics, revenue generation. You will be so surprised that the person will just look dumb. If he starts analyzing, you will just start seeing religious lines. He will start talking along ethnic lines. So we have to be very careful, because we don't want something that will bring further animosity and divide this country. Our diversity actually is supposed to be our strength, but it has been allowed now to continue to permeate and destroy the strata of this beloved country.
Yeah, Mr. Uranta, it's been said that states make us think myopically and regard ourselves as coming from that state or that tribe more than as Nigerians. What is going to make us think as Nigerians? Is it by creating more states? We think we're Nigerians first before we are either Igbo or Yoruba or whatever?
I think by, first of all, recognizing constitutionally the 6 geopolitical zones. If we start thinking of each one another as members of zones, my brother is from Ogoni. I'm Ijo. I have people who are Efiks and so on in the south, Beninese, and so. But if we think of ourselves as south, we shall be able to function more as a homogeneous unit than we are doing at present, because we already balkanized inside the regions, or now called zones, and we are encouraging further balkanization. It shall break down eventually to the limit where each local government will become states. Right now, Ogoni State is being proposed. That's a fiber state.
So, in closing, what is your take on this constitution review? which some have described as absolute nonsense?
Well, like I said, in a few sentences, what I will say is that
I take one. If you don't mind, we gotta go. We run completely out of time.
I think the constitutional review is necessary. I think it is an open process. I think it is an exciting process, and I want to challenge the people of this country to come out and take part in this process.
Okay.
For the Senate committee led by the Deputy Senate President, we have said that we have not made up our mind on anything. So anything can be discussed and anything is open, and I challenge Nigerians to come and take part in the process.
Mr. Bala.
Well,
One sentence, please.
dialogue is very necessary because of our diversity, and that's the only way we can be strong. But the key thing we need to always look or take into consideration is national interest and national unity. And once we take that into consideration, at the end of the day, we will always sing one song and one anthem.
Mr. Uranta.
Well, so far as I'm concerned, the purpose of whether you want a national conference or you go through a review in the Senate or whatever, all we want is a truly federal state where power devolves to all the federating units, which are clearly defined and which all contribute to the well-being of the economy or the state, so that nobody is
Feels cheated.
nobody is cheated and nobody is just piggybacking on the rest of us.
Okay. Dr. Okupe, your last word, please, just before we close.
Yes. Thank you very much. One, on state creation, I think it is the most inimical step that these present elites can take to further destroy the economy and the economic base of the country. Many of the states, 80% of the states, are totally unable on their own to survive and pick their bills. And all these desires are self-seeking, and they do not benefit the Nigerians from those various states. Nigerians are behaving as if this is the end of the country. The country is going to be forever.
Amen.
So, what is important now is let us stabilize our polity now for this present time, and maybe in future, when the economy improves, when we have been able to now derive better benefits from states and all that, our future generations and children and grandchildren may begin to think of creating states. But for now,
Thank you,
will be
Dr.
something
Okupe.
that will be inimical. It is
Thank
not
you.
necessary. As for the national conference, I think my belief is still what I said. It cannot be an Abuja affair. It must start from the states and then come to Abuja.